Good evening, everyone. Hey, everybody. People are still joining. Let's wait for 2 3 more minutes. Everyone, so we will get started in just a few minutes while others are joining the room. If you're already connected, you can use this time to check if you are able to see see us and hear the audio properly. You can write it in chat and raise your hand. Thank you. Evening all. Meanwhile, I will be putting a poll, a quick poll for you guys, so that you guys can tell us from where you are joining it from and whether you're a student or working professional. So thank you for your patience and please stay with us as we let few more people in. And we will start in 2 minutes, and let's start in 2 minutes.
Vaibhav sir, I think there is some issue regarding with Ayu. She's not able to access the video and the audio. Can you please look into that thing? What is it?
Just 1 second. Ayush, are you able to? Can you please confirm? Are you able to?
Yes, sir. Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Tanishka, we can start now. Please take over.
So, firstly, a very good evening to everyone and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm truly excited to host the third Databricks User Group Jaipur virtual meetup. And it's heartwarming to see such an amazing mix of industry. Some of you are professionals, some are data enthusiasts. And I can see a lot of students are also here who are joining with us today from different places, connected by one common passion, and that is learning and growing the data ecosystem. What makes Meetup like these special is not just the technology that we discuss, but the community that we build together. A big thank you to the Databricks community and Databricks User Group Jaipur for continuously supporting and encouraging knowledge sharing. These meetup exist because people believe that learning multiples when it's shared, and today is a perfect example of that. Since this is a virtual meetup, I would like to encourage everyone to make the most of it. Ask your questions, interact in the share your thoughts. Don't hesitate to speak up. Distance should never limit learning, and virtual platforms allow us to learn together without the boundaries as well. I also want to specially encourage the students today who are joining with us. You are in the right place. Exposure to real world tools, industry conversations, and expert experiences this early in your journey can truly shape the future. That's what I believe totally. Before we dive into the session, I would like to give a brief introduction about our speakers today who are here with us among the industries who are the part of Databricks as well. We have with us today Mr. Vibhor and Mr. Dhere. I'll give a very short and a very brief intro about both of them to you. Mr. Vibhor, he is an industry expert and he has an experience of data professional with over a decade of expertise in building and scaling the ecosystem. And also, it will be an amaze to know from him that he has the experience in the Fortune 500 organizations and high growth startups. He is an NIT Jaipur alumnus and he's continuously evolving alongside the cities and the dynamic IT ecosystems as well. We have with us Mr. Dhere, and I'll give a brief intro about him as well. He is an expert in AI and machine learning with 11 plus years of hands-on experience and 4 AI patents. He has led scalable development and architecting data-driven solutions from R&D design, development to deployment, scaling, enhancing interpretability, and minimizing the biases. So I think it's a great honor for all of us to have such a dynamic speakers among us today. And with this, I'll be giving a short, some housekeeping announcements are there that I would like to mention. And as it is that today our theme is all about the Databricks, artificial intelligence, and business intelligence, Jenny. And how do you grow your data science career as well? The session is being hosted on the Microsoft Teams as well. You all are mute. Please use the Q&A panel and the chat box for the questions. We'll take them during and end of the event as well. The session is being recorded and the recording link will be shared with the registered participants afterwards. Now, with this, I would like to hand over uh, to carry forward the session to Mr. Jagmohan sir. To please carry forward it and let us know about the agenda and please set the context as well. And I request Mr. Vaibhav to join and cope up with Mr. Jagmohan sir so that we can begin with the session.
Okay, thank you, Tanishka. So I'll be quick. I'll just set the context and then I'll hand it over to our amazing presenters. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to third edition of Databricks User Group Meetup, which is a virtual edition. Thank you for joining, and it's a great to see participants not only from Jaipur this time but across the world who are joining. And this is a special edition because we are true to our core, which is like learning, sharing, networking, because that's the theme of this event. This is a community event, and this time it's without boundaries. So that make it special. And as I shared earlier, also, the main objective of this community event is to bring together professional and students who care about data and AI, and then learn from each other's real world experience. So we'll continue to do that, and you'll continue to see this today as well. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you to our partners because without strong partners, we can't do this type of event. So, thank you to Databricks for continuous support and encouraging us to build a community as we are doing in Jaipur. And thank you to Origin for managing this event end to end and make it possible. And also, I would like to thank you to Data and Jaipur Data and AI community for building that ecosystem in Jaipur, right? And a very special thank you to our volunteers who work behind the screen to make it possible. And thank you to our presenters who are taking time and sharing their real world experience, right? And then before we'll get started, one small request from our community side, like if you wanted to get real value out of this event, please do these three things. I mean, I share this every time. Like, do these three things: be active and curious, right? Ask questions. No question is a small question or a bad question. So there is a Q&A option enabled in your chat. So just go there, ask question. And second thing is be open and collaborative. So if you have any perspective experience, like just type in the that Q&A session section or maybe in the chat. Maybe start with your introduction so that people can know you. And the third thing is vocal and social. So whatever you are learning, do share it on social media. That's how we build community through participation, not just by attending the events, right? With that, welcome again. Now I'll hand it over to Vibho to take it away.
Okay, thanks Jagmohan, thanks Tanishka for the warm welcome, and um, I welcome you all to this Databricks User Group event, virtual edition this time. So today we are going to talk about Databricks AI/BI capabilities. So without any further ado, let me start sharing my screen. If you have any issues, like any logistic issues, please feel free to use the chat. We'll try to resolve it as soon as possible. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Great. So welcome again to the Databricks User Group Jaipur virtual event. We are trying to build a data and AI ecosystem, a community in Jaipur, and this time we are hosting this virtual event to have uh, different community members from outside Jaipur also join us. And today we are going to discuss about Databricks AIBI capabilities. We are going to discuss how the Databricks AIBI suite has evolved over the last few years and what kind of offerings does the Databricks AIBI suite offer us. Again, this event is primarily organized by Databricks User Group Jaipur with the support of Databricks and organized by Origin with our community partner as Jaipur Data and AI Community. So a brief introduction about me, although Tanisha has already shared an intro about me. So I currently work as a senior consultant with Databricks, and we help clients solve their data and AI problems, be it architecting their data platform or be it guiding them through the latest and greatest Databricks product features. So we engage with clients on a different basis. So Database community, the reason why we all are here, what exactly is database community? So database community is a space, a collaborative space for all data enthusiasts to learn about database products, the prospect learning paths, training, certification. There are many regional groups. We are hosting this event on behalf of the Jaipur user group. There are different user group in across India, across the world actually, and like-minded people gather and have these kind of conversations, sometimes virtual, sometimes in person, sometimes casual coffee chats. So we organize all kind of events. We kicked off the Jaipur User Group event earlier this year, and we have organized two successful events in two prestigious colleges of Jaipur. And we got attraction of a good amount of students and professionals in both these events. And now we are very eager to grow the database community in Jaipur. So how to join the database community? You can have scan this QR code or simply visit community.databricks.com. You can log in or register with your any email ID, and you'll be a part of the community. You can start exploring and navigating through the different events that happen in the community. And specifically for Jaipur User Group, you can scan this QR code and join the Jaipur User Group. This will be shared in the chat as well. So let's go ahead with the agenda. So every enterprise right now is in a state where they want to democratize the data and AI for all their employees. Now, this line may seem a bit old that we have been talking about it for a very long time. Enterprises want to democratize the data and AI. Enterprises want to bring all the data in the one place. They want to build a lake house. So all these look similar. But if you carefully try to read this, we are saying that we want to democratize data and AI for all their employees, not just data engineers, not just product engineers, not just data analysts. So till now, for the last 5 years or so, we have been talking about democratizing data and AI, unifying data and AI for your data teams, for your business analysts, not just for everyone. So we were talking about bringing all the data silos. We were talking about removing data silos, bringing it to one place, ensuring that all the data is available at a single unified place for uh, consumption. But now we are saying that data and AI should be available for all the employees. That means it should not just be a heavy engineering driven task to play around with data, to wrangle the data, but it should be available to everyone. And not just made available, it should be made available in a way that they can use it in a very simple way. They can understand the semantics of the data in a very simple and in creative way. So how do we do it? So we have been doing it for a long time with Databricks and without Databricks as well. So there is a data platform which holds the data, which performs all the engineering, which performs all the wrangling, what we call as ETL pipelines and everything. All the machine learning models are part of the data platform. And then we have a typical BI layer that sits on top of a data platform. Now the data platform, as shown in this diagram, is hosted on Databricks, but it can be any other data platform as well. But the point that we are trying to understand here is that the BI platform sits outside the data platform. It's a standalone tool. Like there are tools like Tableau, Power BI. So these tools are not part of the data platform. They are separate tools. They are called a BI platform. So we need to manage the licenses for this BI platform. We need to purchase the licenses. We have to have a set of users, set of developers who know how to use this data platform, who know how to create reports in these data platforms, and so on and so forth. But this is a problem that we want to solve. There are a couple of other issues as well, having a siloed BI platform. So one such issue is that we have been scaling our data platform for quite some time now. We have made it very optimized to use. We have ensured that our hardwares and our storage layer interact with each other in a seamless manner. We have fast query engines, but this performance at scale does not reach the BI platform. It stops at the data platform. So your Tableau report or your BI report sitting in any XYZ platform is not able to utilize the scale at which your data platform operates. So that's where we need both these platforms to come together. Another thing is, so we have AI assistant. So all the BI tools out there in the market have some AI assistant capabilities, but that's very limited to that specific dashboard. That's very limited to a particular use case. So AI, whatever is happening in AI for a company, like whatever the AI use cases are there for an organization, they are again they still remain to be siloed. They are not tied to the core BI capabilities. And it's the core BI capabilities which, when tied to the AI, make real sense to the business users, which make real sense to the analyst. Otherwise, the AI piece starts and dies as just a fancy model, nothing else. So how do we do it? Like, we want to integrate the BI capabilities natively to the platform. And what kind of advantages does it offer? First thing is, it unifies the data. So we don't it unifies the data and it unifies the infrastructure. We don't need separate infrastructures for a BI platform and data platform. We get the scale and we have AI tied to the core. So all the three problems that we listed out here are solved by having a native BI platform integrated with the data platform. So how does Databricks solve it? So Databricks has two main components under the Databricks AIBI solution offering. The first component is called dashboard, another component is called Genie. So the dashboard is the foundation of dashboard is the traditional graphs and charts, the way it looks in other dashboarding tools, but it takes the dashboard to the next level. And then Genie is the advanced conversational analytics piece of it. So let's start with dashboards. So AIBI dashboards, we don't just call them dashboard. We don't call them BI dashboard. We call them AIBI dashboards, and there is a reason for it. So AI is at very core of these dashboards. So we have intelligent assistants at every step when you're trying to create a dashboard. They are super fast because they are empowered by SQL warehouses or serverless SQL warehouses and empowered through a proprietary Photon engine that runs on top of Apache Spark. So they are super fast and they can be shared in a secure manner via Unity Catalog. So it completes the whole dashboard requirement. And uh, I'll try to go through each of these styles. What does it mean? So we are saying that it's a modern age BI with AI at its core. Now, what does it mean? So for people like us who create reports, we are called as BI authors or data analysts. We get AI assistance at each and every step. Like we can ask the database assistant feature that how do we like write a query? If we can just give them a command that here I want to build a widget that has the quarterly sales aggregated over a store location. So it will create a widget for you. We can even have forecast trends done very easily and text to visualizations. These are the capabilities that are given to data analysts or BI authors. But it does not limit itself to that. It has capabilities for the users as well. So let's say we have shipped a dashboard to a user, or the user is using a dashboard, kind of a sales analytics report or consumption analytics report, but they want something more with that report. So what they can do is they can right click on any visual and they can understand the key drivers, how that report is being made, why why any graph looks the way it looks. So what are the key points driving that particular spike or downfall in that particular graph in the metric. And they can even ask questions in natural language as a follow-up questions to what is shown as a KPI. So that's where we say that it's a modern aged BI and with AI tied to its core. But it's all good. Like we talk about dashboards, and dashboards have been in the IT ecosystem for a very long time. Um, I mean, we started from very minimal Excel based dashboards to what we are where we are today. And there are so many tools. And Tableau and Power BI are just the industry favorite tools, but there are so many other tools. SAP has its tool called SAP Analytics Cloud, SAC, and there are so many other tools. But so everyone likes to use dashboards. But again, when people start using dashboard, they are generally limited to dashboards. So it can answer a lot of questions. So if you see this particular landing page, it can answer all these questions. How much total pipeline do we have? This is a sales dashboard. So it's talking about the sales pipeline. What is our sales volume over time? How is the total revenue trending? What is the value of the closed deal? So these standard questions can be answered. But sometimes there are so many questions that are not, I mean, the dashboard is not designed to answer those questions. Because when we write a particular query or when we create a particular chart, we only have so much in mind. Or we generally get the requirements from the business users and then we try to translate those requirements into the dashboard. But there are so many questions that still can be answered. And uh, the user wants to answer those questions in an ad hoc manner. So the dashboard shows 10 KPIs, but many a times the users want some 11th or 12th KPI or some answer to the 11th or 12th question. So how do they get that answer? They file a ticket to IT support team. The ticket goes to your data analyst. They run a query. They give a they uh, try to infer some insight, or they give some raw data to the user and they try to infer that insight. Now that's a legacy process. That's a cycle that has been followed for quite some time. But what we can break out of it, we can ask questions in a natural language to some kind of a chatbot, to some kind of an assistant. That's where Databricks Genie come into picture. So AIBI Genie or Databricks Genie is a conversational analytics platform. And it's not just any conversation analytics platform that's available out there in the internet, or a random, I would say, random LLM used to ask questions, but it is tailored to our business requirements. It is trained on top of the data that we are using. That's what makes it unique. And what exactly is Genie under the hood? It's a compound AI system. It's a system of a lot of agents sitting under the hood, and which utilizes its intelligence to derive to conclude to a result. And it's not just you type a question. It does not have a pre-fed answers, but it tries to get the context, get instructions. It has some sample questions and answers which try to search for. Otherwise it again it tries to learn itself, learn and iterate over time. So how do we use Genie? So if you've used Databricks Workspace, the left-hand side, in the vertical left-hand side, you see this option called Genie. And the Genie has a concept of Genie space. So in a Genie space, we attach separate some tables to it. Let's say we're talking about, in this example, we are talking about an HR analytics Genie space. So we have taken employee table, terminations table, and consumptions table to this HR analytics Genie space. Now, the good thing about the Genie is we are not physically copying over any data anywhere. We are not making copies of data anywhere. We are just selecting the tables via Unity catalog, which are already present. So Genie spaces are connected to the Unity catalog metastore, and we can access the tables the same way we can access the tables in any other part of the Databricks platform. So we just select the tables, and the tables are available in the Genie space. One important thing is that it's recommended to have, if there are any primary key foreign key relationship between the tables, it's recommended to have those defined. And it's also recommended to have column descriptions, column metadata also defined, so that there is a good context available for Genie to search for and to understand on. My colleague Dharia has a very detailed demo plan for Genie, so I'm just trying to give you the high level understanding of Genie. So yeah, we include relevant instructions that help Genie understand the jargon for business concepts, and we can save the output as a SQL as well, and we can use the SQLs in our other analytics, or we can save it for future use cases. So Genie also has some example queries that we can have, and we can also build custom functions which we can register in UC, like kind of a user-defined functions if they are not already present in SQL. So that also is possible using Genie. So basically, what we're trying to say is we build some custom function in SQL that does a complex processing not available out of the box in SQL. And then we register that function in Unity catalog, and then we can use that function in a natural language context in Genie space. So that speeds up the analytics. And Genie space is accessible from everywhere. What I mean by everywhere is, so we can have dedicated Genie space just to focus on Q&A. Like we can create Genie spaces only that acts as a chatbot. We can integrate Genie space in our AIBI dashboard itself. So a dashboard is good, like as I said, with 10 widgets, 10 KPIs, but it can have a natural language widget that allows us to ask questions on this dashboard. And not just this, we can expose Genie conversational API and embed them into any third-party app or UI that we have within our application suite, and they can be integrated very seamlessly there. But all this is good. Like we talked about Genie and everything, but if you remember the how we started this conversation, we want to democratize data and AI for every employee, for everyone in the organization, not just for developers. This all still looks technical to me. Like at least um, uh, not just the building of the Genie space, but even the consumption and all. You have to log into the database workspace. You have to search for Genie, and then um, uh, there are so many things that confuses the user, like whether to go on a SQL developer, whether to go on a dashboard. It still looks so technical for the business user. What if it should be democratized in such a way that the user does not have to go through a lot of technical channels? That's where Databricks One comes into picture. So Databricks One is this window. You have your dashboard, Genie spaces, apps, all these assets unified in one space, and they are just one search bar away. So it is present inside the Databricks workspace. If you go to the right hand corner, you see an option to switch from the workspace to Databricks One. So how it will help is, so if you provision business users on a Databricks platform, you just give them access to Databricks One and not the workspace at all, so that they don't get lost in the rich product suite, but they do exactly what they are supposed to do. They come here, they search for the right KPI, they search for the right dashboard, they start using it. So it's the data intelligence catered for business teams. Again, we are not copying anything over. We are not creating a new copy of any asset here. It's the same assets which have been developed by our data engineers and data analysts and data scientists, which are being used in this Databricks one. So it simplifies the administrator to onboard new users, because we want to onboard them to Databricks One platform. And although the governance and security of the assets is still governed by the Unity catalog, but the end user experience changes. So it's essentially, to summarize Databricks One, we have all the business users requirement in one place. We have the content search, which is recommended through AI, in one place. We have all the dashboards here. We all have Genie workspaces here, and we can access all the Databricks apps here. So all the business user requirements. So till now, Databricks platform was catered towards data engineers and data scientists, but now this Databricks One offering, backed by AI/BI Genie and AI/BI dashboards, is a new age solution for business users and not just for data professionals. So I think I'll take a pause here and pass on the stage to Dharya, who can take it from here. And he has a very detailed Genie demo plan for you guys. And we have a team monitoring the Q&A. I'll also try to answer the questions that you have in Q&A. And yeah, feel free to continue to use that option. And maybe towards the end of the session, we'll have some more live Q&A as well. So Dharya, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vibhor. That was a good detailed business overview on AIBI and the importance of AI in business intelligence, as well as Genie and the capabilities of Genie. To recap, hi everyone, I am Dharya Kothari. I am an AI professional, machine learning professional, data science professional, whichever one you prefer, with around 11 years of work experience, and have developed and architected across a plethora of industries, across roles ranging from designing, development, and deployment and scaling. And then I love to focus my research and scaling initiatives in interpretability and how to recognize and minimize biases. Um, so we both went through an extensive talk on what is Databricks' AIBI capabilities, what is Genie. Let's boil it down a little bit into bite-sized pieces. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we say Genie helps transform business users. Okay, how does Genie help with the interaction with the data? three main points that Genie does that's very different from anything in the industry, but also one of the main key points of Genie um, is conversational AI and natural language querying. So with Genie, you can go in and ask questions in plain English. No SQL knowledge required, no vague question answered. It's plain English questions. You go in, what are the top selling products of the last quarter? So when you write that question, Genie understands what does our mean in terms of data. It understands what the top selling in the product category mean, and it understands our context of what a last quarter is. And that is a very powerful tool. So someone from the sales side, on the business side, who doesn't have that much technical knowledge, don't have to wait for all the technical folk to free up their bandwidth to answer their questions, and they are also not hogging more of their time. So this enables a lot of people with a lot of good curiosity and business acumen to actually also venture into data and get some data-driven answers, which is quite powerful. Uh, Genie does automated insights. It proactively surfaces a lot of anomalies, trends, what questions should be the top ones to ask. And as Vibor suggested, they are not questions that are saved. They are questions that are analyzed and recommended on the fly through the AI model. They also give you the capability of saving queries if you like them. The Genie space will not only answer your question in the language that you have asked, but also with visuals and tabular data. So that way we can verify the answers with the data, minimizing hallucination and minimizing any other risk of where did this answer come from. There are other techniques to doing that. And third and the final one, iterative analysis. It helps you refine your questions. It helps you with follow-ups. It helps you with what did you mean to break this by the region, break this down by the month. It helps you keep in context with what the data is. And it maintains the conversation in a seamless chat like window. So great tool for whoever has curiosity and not wanting to have technical knowledge or programming knowledge be the only pitfall or stopping them from asking those questions. Can we go to the next slide, please? So all this talk is good. What does Genie in action look like? Well, we can go to a Genie space, have use case and data go in and start asking questions like show me revenue trends by product category, which sales regions are underperforming, drill into specific segments. And those can be natural looking or natural sounding follow-ups. You don't have to reset the context every time. You don't have to write the first question of the conversation and remind Genie that we are staying in the same conversation. Genie does that by itself. So you can be very quick in your line of questioning, and Genie will follow up. Um, so these are some of the example questions that you can think of. Genie can definitely answer. All of this is good. Great presentation, Vibhu and Daria. What do we do now? Well, let me share my screen and I can show you what Genie looks like in action. Uh, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Daddy, we can see your screen.
So yeah, here I have in my workspace. For those of you not familiar with, this is what Databricks Enterprise Edition workspace looks like. Couple of our workspace menu items, some internal logging tools, and everything on the right side, as well as the left side main menu, this is where all the magic happens. These are all the Databricks features that you can have enabled and run in your enterprise workspace and play around with it. Uh, Great tools, very intuitive and easy to learn. Databricks is a notebook style system, so you can write your codes in interactive notebooks. And the good thing about their runtime is that they support multiple languages. So you can have one cell in Python, one cell in R, one cell in SQL, one cell in Scala. If you know all four, great. You can have one chunk of notebook code that will go through, iterate through everything. So what does this demo have? I have this demo about supply chain problems in the manufacturing industry. And those of you aware, manufacturing industry works really well on supply chain forecasting because they always pre-anticipate what they want to buy from their suppliers in advance, look for what the timeline is, 12, 15 days to get it delivered to you, and make sure, oh, are we going to anticipate the need for this raw material after 15 days? And not just based on hunch, also looking at data, they'll be like, yeah, we will need this in 12 days. Let's place an order right now. Here we are solving this or trying to solve this problem and get to the root of any supply chain issues with AI-powered business intelligence and with Genie. In this notebook, we go a little bit more in detail in how we are connecting our data sources with Lakeflow Connect. It's very intuitive data ingestion, almost drag and drop. With the AIBI and the Databricks platform, we can also have good governance and security coverage with Unity Catalog. So we can have fine-grained access control to who has access to our raw data and not. We can have full lineage and ingestion to the ML modeling of our choices. After the modeling, my favorite part, traceability and audit, we can actually go in and look how the models are performing, if they're not doing well, or if they need to be updated. And all kinds of data assets are supported. We are also utilizing Databricks dashboards. So you don't have to go out of Databricks as a platform. You don't have to. Traditional knowledge was that Databricks is a dev platform, and then we will do all the visualizations in Tableau or Power BI, so on and so forth. Nope, Databricks has their own interactive and very fast dashboarding. And then we enable Genie space with the dashboard. As you can see here, it's a chat window. So it's a very intuitive chat fo chat forward, chat focused experience for the user. So everyone is familiar with that. You go in, you ask questions, you get some answers, you drill down, dig deep into your curiosity. Right. If you've had enough of AIBI, what is next? Databricks will always support a lot of different technical features. Some of these are listed over here. I will also show you where you can actually go in and build some of this demo. This is more of, I wanted to show you what it actually looks like. Get your curiosity in. You guys can go in and build the demo with your capabilities as well and get started with your own Genie implementation. Good project to have on your resumes too. Here we see that with Genie, we can have multiple levels of compute, which can leverage them. I am actually using a serverless starter warehouse, wanting to make sure that I can show people that you don't need the best of all compute and the most expensive of all computes to actually run all of these features. With the demo I am running right now, it's powered by Databricks DB demos. So if you are not familiar with that, Databricks has a repository of all demos that is published publicly. You can go in there and install it yourself, take a look, change it to your heart's content, and start running. Yeah, that's a good way to get started with new features and tinker around and play around with it. You can also go to the Databricks demo page and you'll be able to find product tours and tutorials and all of that. Great toolkit to have in your, a great tool to have in your toolkit. So yeah, so after we have all of our data, I made some dashboards. We can look at some data visually so that it's less boring and see what we can find out in our supply chain shortages. And here, if you see forecasted raw material shortages in our supply chain um, based on different raw materials. So it's like, hey, the total supply and what is the forecasted shortage on top of it. So now we know that we are actually running low, and every time we will run out of product before we can actually go in and order something, or even if we are waiting in transit for the delivery. What is our product demand over time? Because if we can actually predict the product's demand, in that case, we can also make up this gap that we are looking into. Um, Here's some of the heat chats for like shipment recommendations and which distribution centers are the hottest and which distribution centers are the coldest. Um, so all of this is good. We are still talking about traditional BI, right? Let's get into Genie. Let's go in and see how we can go ask the data some questions. And we're just talking to the data in this at this case. So I already had some questions and everything running in the background because I didn't want to wait a little bit. I don't have much patience for myself. So I went in and asked which distribution center should I use for a new supply of impact drill coming in. As we saw, a lot of distribution centers had supply gaps. So these were all the distribution centers that had no backlog or bottlenecking because we had the opposite problem. So they were like, hey, use any of these distribution centers. Right. Not a satisfactory answer for myself. I was like, oh, what are the main supply chain issues for 2023 going in? Simple. That's the question. Genie does its work. Main supply chain issues, it will come up with different products, top issues listed in the tables, and then also the bottlenecks, data center bottlenecks by entity. So which are the bottlenecks? And it's like, hey, would you like to see other types of supply chain issues for 2023 besides shortages and bottlenecks? Yes, I would. Continue the conversation going with Genie. It's just conversational AI that actually knows your data. So there's very less chance of hallucinating. It gives you answers based on your data, but also cites your data. So you can look in and see, hey, maybe it has made some errors. Maybe it's doing right. And then you can also give your feedbacks. A good rule of thumb for LLMs is to always go in and check your sources and also check your data. But having seen all this level of transparency makes me very happy that yes, I can actually go in and pinpoint and check where I need to check. So I go in and it's like, oh, main supply chain issues for 2023 were the shortages of these products and these many units. And there's a table of like the top 20 shortages for 2023. And then we are also seeing raw material shortage by distribution center. So which distribution centers were lacking in products the most? Um, as you can see, Genie will also smartly inverse our axes. So for our brain to recognize that visually and saying, hey, in this case, the most is the worst. And we are looking at our inverse axis from zero to minus. So anything over on this side is actually better than anything over on this side. Um, you can drill down, ask more questions, so on and so forth. I just wanted to show you guys more of Genie capabilities. So with Genie, you can also choose how many tables you or how many data assets from your inventory you can actually use to query Genie. So if you are using Databricks as your enterprise platform, you might have some tables that are in production and that has the final source of truth data. You have some tables that you are also working some analytics out. You can actually go in and deselect some of those tables. So you don't use any pre-prod data that you don't want to use. You can go in and give Genie specific instructions, also in natural language. So Genie can keep the context better. You can go in and define some joins and SQL expressions and queries beforehand. So Genie will know these are the queries that are actually used more often. So product demand over time, bill of material, all of these queries that the businesses or you that are already using, and some of the technical geniuses at your place have already put in place. You are not throwing that out. You are building on top of that. You can also benchmark and monitor Genie performance, evaluate some of the questions. So you can keep your own benchmarking or bring your own benchmarking to here, Genie, and say, hey, this was the question, this was the ground truth and the SQL answer, and this is what Genie answers compares to that. You can also go in and monitor all the chat. And here you can also give rating to all the responses that you got. So if you feel like, oh, this question was answered properly, good. If not answered properly, you can rate it bad. And Genie will take that feedback in account and continue the context going. So if you are actually in a great line of questioning and you do want to show it to someone from your team and share it with them, fact check with them, you could go in to your previous conversations with Genie, open it up, and then play around with that. So yeah, these are the main features and all the fun jazz about Genie. As I said, the Databricks demos, you can set a lot of these demos through the pip install DB demos in your Databricks environment, and then you can list all the demos and see which ones you like, and then install them and start playing around with it. They give you the capabilities of these are all the default settings, and then you can tinker and uh, play around how much ever you feel comfortable with. But once again, great tools for dev-centric folks and who wants to enable and learn more about Genie and then get ahead of the curve. Uh, Vibor, if you can take it from here. Any questions regarding the Databricks Genie demo? Would be happy to answer on the chat in the Q&A session. Any questions that we see here? And before that, Vibor, do you want to plug
Yeah, we
anything
have
else
some,
from the Databricks
yeah, we
side?
have some questions. We have got some questions.
Yeah.
And Ayush, please, we have compiled some of the questions and he will play it. I will also, read some of them. But before that, what I will do, I will unmute people so that they can unmute themselves and then ask the question directly as well. So one interesting question I got is from uh, Vivek Mathur. We saw capabilities of AI Genie, but nothing is 100% efficient. And even sometimes it's not accurate. What are the limitations of AI Genie that business users should be aware of?
One of the things that you should always be aware of when you talk about AI running on LLMs, large language models, is that you always run with an assumption that you are going to go in and fact check all of the data. The good thing about how the Genie space is shown to you and procured is you have all of that information, maybe one or two clicks away. It is running that LLM on your contextual data. So the developers and the creators of the product can go in and give you the closest enough and the best product out there. Never go in and run with it by just copy pasting that answer and calling it a day. Always go in, see that the references that are cited are correct, see that the sources are proper. As we talk about this, is that these tools are enabling tools. We still need to do 5% or 10% work on top of this. So whenever someone comes in and says, "Oh, are these AI tools replacing some workers?" No, they are not, because these are just making the business folk, the technical folk, everyone in your team powerful and more efficient and faster. Anything you want to add, Vibor?
No, this is good, right? That, so it's not just about Genie or let's say Chat GPT or anything, but as you rightly mentioned, right? We have to go look for the sources that are being cited in the answer, and these are currently enabling tools. We are making good progress towards making them state of the art default tools, but it's safe to say that we are not there right now, not just from database standpoint, but as an industry, we are getting there. We will get there, but only with some accuracy. It's under the hood, it's just a machine. So I mean, we are talking about artificial general intelligence that it will come up, but it has not yet. I mean, it's not there yet. We are not there yet. So it's always important to understand that we have to infer these reports, infer the results of all these LLMs, all these AI tools available out there in the intelligent possible way that we can, and make sure that we use them wisely. And but as a Databricks platform, as a Databricks product, I would say like Genie and AIBI, they have evolved a lot over the last 2 years. 2 years back, even like internally, we used to use AIBI dashboard just for some ad hoc reporting. Now we are very confident to say that AIBI dashboards can actually deliver the most complex business dashboards, which are being empowered by the most prominent tools out there in the market. So it has evolved. And so with Genie, Genie was nothing. Genie was just a database conversational assistant. And with the LLMs evolving, Genie has also evolved, but there is still a long way to go.
Thank you, Vibor.
Vibhor, I just want to grab your attention toward one thing.
Yeah,
There's just a very beautiful comment in the chat section. I'm not pretty sure have you checked it out or not, but
I have.
somebody named Shubham Goyal, he's from Bangalore, and he's a biggest fan of you and your teaching style, and he's really, really excited to be in the session. So it would be
Yeah.
great if you address him once.
No, yeah, that's great. I mean, I already thanked him in the chat, but it's good to see him here, and it's good that he's here now. He can answer the questions on my behalf as well. So, yeah, but Shubham and I used to be colleagues. We wrangle a lot of data together in the early days of Databricks platform, when Databricks was, I mean, all the features of Databricks were very new to Databricks itself. So we have learned together a lot. Yeah.
Um, Thanks, Vibor. Thanks,
So yeah,
everyone. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, Piyush.
So, yeah. So, I'm sorry, am I interrupting someone?
No, no.
no, sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. So we talked about Genie. We had a demo, but what next? So I think the next logical step is to have the database free edition used by each and everyone. So for those who are not aware yet, so this Data and AI Summit in June, we announced Databricks free edition. So it used to be called Databricks Community Edition earlier and with very limited capabilities. I mean, Databricks Community Edition was also free for lifetime, but with only limited usage. But Databricks free edition is essentially all the features of Databricks available free for lifetime. You can go ahead and check what how you can start using it, and many great institutes like academic institutes are already using it for their academic purposes, and we highly recommend students and industry professionals both to use Databricks free edition for their learning purposes. If they want to try out a project, if they want to try out DB demos, they have a POC to be done, but they don't have access to their sandbox environment, they can use the Database free demo and show the POC. So it's a very uh, good and lightweight ecosystem to be used by each and every one of us. So go ahead and try it out. And yeah, we I think the team will share details about the upcoming events as well. But after we close the session, but yeah, we highly encourage you to try out the database free edition. Yeah,
And
that's
with the
all.
free edition and the GitHub repository about the Databricks demos or DB demos, you can build your own Genie space as well as a lot of other data, play around with a lot of other Databricks features. So very intuitive and quick to learn. You will get the code, you will get the tables, data, relationships. So it's a one-stop shop for getting a lot of Databricks technology products and upcoming products into your ecosystem.
Uh, Vibhor, I have a very interesting question. What future opportunities from Bhavya Khandelwal? What future opportunities do you see in the Databricks ecosystem for early career professionals over the next 3-5 years? If you can answer.
Uh, yeah, so for early career professionals, I think I've answered one learning question in the chat already. So uh, there is a Databricks Academy, which hosts a lot of free courses, and there is a platform called Databricks Learning Festival that happens like every quarter, every 6 months. These are few two learning opportunities which all early data professionals or early career professionals should take interest in. And once they start developing interest in one of the particular areas, so as we all know, like at a very broad level, data professions are categorized into three categories. I mean, data engineering, data analysis, and all sorts of data science capabilities, whether you call them AI engineers, ML engineers. There is a new field called AI forward deployed engineer. There are prompt engineers, but they all are AI engineers, like all are ML engineers. But now uh, all these are really important uh, practices within the organization. All these are really important career roles. But it's important to understand what interests you. So that's where I would encourage the students and early professionals to start going through these courses where you'll start developing interest in one or the either of these fields. Now, all these fields are important. It's not AI sounds cool, but data engineering is equally important because it sets the fundamentals. As we discussed in this whole webinar today, in this whole meetup today, that it, all the data engineering and all the fancy ML makes no sense without the dashboard, without the data being really made available to the business users. So data analyst makes more is equally important as well. One good thing with Databricks platform that's happening right now is as we are trying to make the platform more and more simple to use, both for developers, I mean, the custodians of the platform, and for creators of the data, and for the users. Now, what it means is that we don't require heavy scale Scala or Java or Python engineering skills to use the platform. So we have made the platform so intuitive, so and even the complex pipelines can be made in a drag drop manner right now. Uh, while it has both advantages and disadvantages. As a Databricks user, it has a lot of advantages. As a student also, it has a lot of advantages because it creates the time to learning very fast. Using the newest product offerings, we can onboard the Databricks platform very fast, and we can start contributing to the real projects. But again, you should always stick to the core as well. So if you're an early career professional, start with your basics of programming, start with your basics, and then move your way towards the product line or the career line within the Databricks ecosystem that suits you. And keep up to date with the academy courses and the free learning festivals. And the reason why I'm pressing on this is, as an organization, Databricks does a really huge investment on these academic courses and learning festivals, and it's for the interest of the communities, for the interest of the students and professionals like us.
Hi sir, there is Ayush this side. Sorry for being an attendee. Because of my ISP, I'm just facing internet issue. So no worries. I crafted some questions for you. Which Databricks features, Delta Lake, Unity Catalog, Workflows, Genie, ML Flow, do you currently use, or which one do you want to master next to grow in your career so it can reach your level from this to this?
This is
I
for
can
me.
take this first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaipur. Yeah.
Currently at one of our projects, we are using Unity Catalog, uh, governance and governed tags. We are already in talks with Databricks as a team to enable two beta features that are not published. Um, MLOps has been my bread and butter in the 2020s. Um, and then, yeah, which are other features they were talking about? But yeah, most of these are something that are very useful. Now, what do you guys, or what do we think are the good features to learn coming up next? We were put it very nicely that all of these new AI features are great to know because we work in data and AI, and if you are not up to date, you are already out of date. So you need to keep yourself in the learning mode, learn new things every year. I just recapped with my manager. We had learned four new things this year for myself. So I'll learn new products, learn new features coming up. But whatever you already know, data engineering as a base, data science as a base, that is always going to come in handy. What is MLOps? MLOps is just operationalizing machine learning model. So you already need to know what machine learning modeling is, how to do it with Databricks, how to do it efficiently. And then we talk about, okay, let's talk about updating these models. Let's talk about repository. Let's talk about deployment. So goes hand in hand, but you should always come in the field with the appetite of learning new things and keeping an open eye.
Okay, thank you, sir. One more question I want to ask. It's a neutral question. As currently I am a full stack AI engineer, and I want to draw deep down, and you can say that as I have done my internship in Celebel as a data engineer, and had hands-on experience on ADF, what Lakehouse is, etc. So I want to come into this domain. What are the key steps which I follow, and what a long-term goal should I plan so I can reach height at where you are all?
Sure, I would say the most powerful thing you can say you are talking to someone that might be a potential employer. The most powerful thing you can say to them when they ask you a question is, I can either talk about this or I can show you this. And to have that capability of saying, I can show you this, is to have a portfolio of some of the projects that you can do. There's a lot of resources online where you can get free data, free sources to run that data, free platforms to actually go in and test and take and implement all of that. Uh, Use that, modify that. And as I was answering to someone on chat as well, you should focus on what story you want to tell. Focus on you have someone who is a business audience, you have someone who is a technical audience. How do you convey that? What is your technical query, technical machine learning model, predictive analytics model solving? Make them see that picture as a user, as a customer, as a business owner. When you connect with that, them on the project level in that frame, you tell a story, it sticks with them. That way, they remember Ayush Pant and the others. So, a lot of portfolio building is always good when you actually go talk to people because then everyone can say the keywords. you can stand out saying, I already have everything over here, and let's talk about this. Shows confidence, shows you have built something, shows you know what to do when it breaks, and you don't panic. And yeah, always good to come in with a good attitude. Essentially, you're working with all your teammates 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Everyone wants a great person to sit besides. No one wants to go sit with someone grumpy every day. So, yeah.
Thanks, Daria. Thanks, Ayush. Looks like we have already started the second session. uh, yeah, but yeah, I guess thinking about the timing constraint, let's start the career session, the second session. And Tanishka, yeah, take over. Thanks, guys, for all your questions.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so
we can continue the questions as part of the second session, but we
Yes.
have a logical second session which talks specifically about career questions across data science and data platforms. So let's start that session and then we can continue with the Q&A.
okay, sure. Hi there, sir. My question is from you as you are into the field of data science and you are a data scientist. So somebody like me who wants to take a break in a career and want to step into the data science field, how we can actually start? Like the main, the that revolves around us. The first thing is how do you take that first step to run on that ladder? That is the first thing that I want to know. And as people say that it is a very overcrowded platform, there are so many people running into the data science, data roles fields, and as AI is there, so will it take away the jobs? How can somebody make a career out of it? And also, what projects and certifications are really important to get to reach the heights of success in the data science career? So,
Yeah, I can give you a little bit of background of how I got started. I have my undergrads in computer science, software engineering from Government Engineering College, Gandhinagar. I'm from Ahmedabad. I did that in from 2010 to 2014. I worked for a local company in Ahmedabad for 3 years, serving as a product analyst for government projects. And I moved to the States in 2016 in Michigan to do my master's in data science. So that was one of the things that I realized is to stand out and to call myself a data scientist. I wanted to have something on my resume that certifies and says, hey, this guy is data scientist. So I did my master's, I did some teaching, I did some research. So then I could call myself a domain expert, but also have some of the knowledge of a domain expert. I went out, interviewed, got a job as a data scientist. Went out, interviewed, and got a job that was a 9 month process. So easier said than done. And I know it's only getting harder by the day. This was back in 2018, 2019. I started my first job as a data scientist, or first job post my master's, with the title of a data scientist. In 2018 year and early 2019. And then from that, got a couple promotions, joined Origin. One of the things that stood out with me is just being able to go in and connect. Once you have a conversation with someone, I have seen a lot of people go in and talk about projects like they are reading from a script. I was like that. So it feels very mechanical. And sometimes people are reading from a script or from bullet points just because they don't want to forget about main important things. Keep that. I would say when you talk to someone on an interview, and if it's a virtual interview, have your notepad on, put all of your projects in, remove the full sentences, only keep the keywords. So when you actually talk to them, you will talk to them, look at the keywords, remind yourself to talk about that, but not read the full sentence. So you will then make the sentence on the fly, talk to them, and it will look non-mechanical. It will look more natural. The key thing to remember is that the product is artificial, we don't have to be. So we go in, connect with people. That's the one thing that gets you going. Couple other things for like how to get started. Again, projects. Like you can, the most powerful thing you can actually tell someone is, let me show you. You go through your analysis because in the 1, 2, 4, 5 hours of interviews, you are not going to come up with a groundbreaking idea. What you will come up is the ability to show what you have already worked. And that's what they want to see, that over the period of a month, 2 month, can you actually think about a project and see it through all the way through and smartly come up with decisions on why you chose some things that you chose. And yeah, just showing the capabilities and giving them the glimpse that, yeah, I can work here. I can do the same things you guys are doing for a longer time.
Okay, thank you so much, Dariso, for addressing the question so beautifully with a lot of knowledge and insights as well. My one question is from Vibhor, sir. As you took out the whole session based on the artificial intelligence and business intelligence as well, which even considers business analysts also, data analyst also, everything is running around the data. But what I feel is, as it is the boom of AI, so how do you think about the career of people who are into the data analysis? Will they have a high shift in their career, or will everything be taken away by the work of AI? What do you think that how is it going to impact data analysis in that sense?
Yeah, I think the reason why you're asking this question for a data analyst and not for a data engineer, because in your mind already think that data engineer is a superior person than a data analyst, or a data scientist is a superior person than a data analyst, and only the jobs of data analyst are going to be taken by Genie and not a data engineer like myself. So that notion has to change actually, and we are all data professionals here. Whether we are master in skill A or skill B, that's a different thing, but we're all data professional here. Our ultimate goal is to tie a story to a data point and see it through. What was the problem? What were you trying to solve? Why were you trying to solve? What did you achieve? The problem can be as simple as running a query and getting the result, or if there's already something running in our ecosystem, the problem can be to lower the cost. So there can be n number of problems, but ultimately, whatever problem you solve, you need to attach a story to that problem. That from point A to point B, like let's say from point A to point D, how did you go through these four hops? What were the different steps involved? Whether you used AI, whether you used BI, whether you used core Python, it does not matter. But you should know what you used and why you used, and what all did you try, what worked, what did not work. So that understanding is what is more important than to just say that when I was a data analyst, I was going from point A to point B through a dashboard. Now I don't know how to go because Genie is doing all my work. That is not going to happen. It's always important for all of us, be it in data career or be it in any career, but it's very important who are in the data professional world to keep upskilling ourselves. Now, I can't force someone to learn AI if they don't have any interest in AI. Even if like they can learn AI just for the sake of it, but if they don't want to learn it, I can't force someone. Now, what does it mean? It does not mean that your career as a data analyst is going to end or a career as a data engineer is going to end. You have to find another way to upskill yourself. You have to keep yourself competitive. Now, data analysts are super important in the organization. Now, when you are in an organization building fancy reports, building getting important insights, you directly impact the decision making. The data engineers and data scientists sit at the bottom figuring out why a pipeline failed, but data analysts directly impact the decision making. So keep that up in mind, and again, try to have that bigger picture. What problem you're resolving? How is how is your work impacting the organization? Sometimes we don't realize, but as IT consultants, most of us work for different clients, and those different clients work for some bigger picture. We may not realize that sitting in a very small town of India, we may be impacting billions of dollars of revenue across Europe or across the North American region. So getting that bigger picture is very important. Keeping yourself up to date of the new technologies is very important. And yes, augmenting your work with AI is super important right now. You will have to augment your work with AI if you want to survive. It's not just for data analysts, for data engineers as well. It's for product engineers. It's for everyone. Augmenting your work with AI is important, but replacing your work with AI is not important, and it's not going to happen. So augmentation is the parts, and how you can smartly augment it. That's what it's going to be. That's what the future is going to look like. You can learn prompt engineering quickly if you're a data analyst, and then you can start looking for some projects with prompt engineering, and then maybe eventually move your space up. But if you stick yourself to just creating the dashboards you've been creating for the last 5 years without any new learning, without any new augmentation, that's going to be a challenge.
Yes, sir, I want to ask you one question, Vibhu sir. If
Mhm.
you were starting your career today as a student,
Mhm.
what would you do differently to prepare for an AI BI driven future? And what steps would you take to upskill yourself a day and then next day and then day after tomorrow?
I think I started my career around 10 and a half years back after graduating from college, and I started working in the data domain from day one. I would say that was a blessing for me because generally we all don't get a chance to work in the domain of our choice from day one. But that was a risk that time as well, because in 2015, most of our friends used to work as full stack engineers or backend engineers. Data space, as like specifically the new age big data space, was evolving. So, but to answer your question, what would I do differently? What would I do basically to get that learning? First thing is I would have my basics done right. I would have my programming skills done right. I would have my SQL done right. Until I understand select C1, C2, C3 group by C1, C2, C3 from what that query does from me, how that gets executed in the backend. I know there are so many modern age platforms right now where you don't even need to write a query. You don't even need to understand what a query does in the backend. But for engineers like us, for professionals like us, it makes real sense to understand, because one day the query will fail, and that's where you'll start going to the logs. You will only understand the logs if you understand the basics. So stick to your basics. That's very important. One programming language, your core computer science concepts. I know we have non-computer science professionals also. Non-computer science, I would say, people who don't have a formal education in computer science making great careers in data and AI space, and that will continue because the degree was not a barrier for them. They would still learn based on their interest. So stick to your basics and keep. I mean, don't just do. Uh, I would say, don't aim for a job uh, that you deserve to get 5 years down the lane as a fresher. Things will only come with time. Maybe after 5 years, you will be a senior AI engineer in a very reputed organization. But if you push yourself so hard to get that job at day one, you may not get it, and you may feel very disheartened, and you may feel that you're incapable and many things, but that's not the case. It's just that you're pushing yourself too hard. The market is so competitive. We all want to do great things, but great things take time. So take it easy as well.
Thank you, sir. One more question from us attendee from Bhavya Khandelwal. For someone starting a career in data science today, which skills matter more in practice, advanced ML techniques, or strong data engineering and SQL fundamentals?
Yeah, I just answered that question in the chat, but yeah, I can recap.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Yeah, adding to this point, one more Gauri Shankar has also asked a question: how much deep we need to go into mathematics for data science role?
If you are
So
not learning maths today, you are late. Mathematics, statistics, statistical modeling, that is machine learning. Machine learning per se is just computational statistics. It's just the same thing going through different packages. If you actually look under the hood of machine learning models, it's computational statistic models. That means statistical model made to run on a powerful hardware. So get a GPU, run it through that, get a ton of data, you get some inference. That's machine learning, or powerful machine learning, also expensive machine learning. But maths is important. Statistics is important. Good thing is that it's not that tough. You just have to find teachers slash videos of someone who's teaching style that you like. YouTube, EDX, amazing platforms. That's how I actually got my uh, better knowledge in maths and statistics. So yes, both of them are important. Data engineering and data science. So I see like data jobs are in four domains. I've now five domains, but four domains mainly: data analyst, data engineer, machine learning engineer, data scientist, and now an AI engineer. There's distinction between a lot of those. A lot of these, a lot of industry folks will define each slightly differently, but mostly data analyst, as we both said, you'll be working between data engineers and business folks. So good to have the communication skills, good to have the business knowledge, and also good to actually roll up your sleeves and deep dive into some of the data. Data engineer is a hardcore job. You are in the data pipeline day in and day out. So you need to know what how you are doing data in medallion architecture, so gold, silver, bronze. You need to know how data is going through different workspaces. You need to know which department is getting what data, all of the data security, data compliance, data governance, all of those buzzwords with data. That's data engineer, along with data architects. So you're not going to work on your own. You will be working with a lot of teammates, but basically that's the job. Data scientist is someone who is getting the data from data engineers. So you cannot work in data science without data engineering skills and without a good data engineer by your side. You get the data from your data engineer, you run some machine learning models, you run some AI models, you run some statistical predictive analytics models, you run some time series forecasting models. That's data science. Once you run those models, you interpret those results. What does these results mean? What does this zero mean? What does this one mean? You put that in the context of business. You bring them the report saying, hey, we are thinking product A, B, and C should be the top tier product because data says so. And here's the 585 pages of data that I printed out for no reason. So that's a data scientist. Machine learning engineer is more of a computer scientist who will be developing those machine learning models under the hood. So in that case, you are running more with distributed computing. You're making sure that your heavier model is running through across different servers. And then AI engineer is a combination of all of that, but you are more in touch with LLM models. One of the things is that how to implement, how to fine tune RAG and all of this in LLM modeling is very good, very important. That's the AI engineer, data scientist. I feel like data scientists should definitely know about this because all AI is data driven. So great skill to have, but make sure you are not coding just dependent on LLM models. When you are like, oh, I'm an engineer, of course I'm going to be using an LLM model. Well, there are days, at least this month, earlier this month, there was a day where ChatGPT was down and no one got work done. So Always know that it can write you the code. It's your knowledge to where you should put those 10 lines of code in a 1,000-page document is what gets you to the front. I see Bhavai also posted in a question about how important is cloud platform expertise. All three, pick any. If you can show that you can work in one, it's good. Doesn't need to be that. My first job, first interview, zero experience in Azure. Why? Because my college had a free Google subscription. I said, I worked on Google, give me 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and I will know Azure. And that's one of the things that they liked. It's like, yeah, give me 2 weeks, and it's all the same things with just different icons and different colors. So you can show expertise in one of these. Great. Now, of course, if you go to Amazon to ask for a job and say, I'm not AWS guy, I'm an Azure guy, you need to show other things so that Amazon will be like, yeah, sure, we like you enough, even though you don't know AWS. But pick any, all three are good. Everyone has almost similar features. See which one works
Yeah.
better for your budget and time.
There is one more pretty interesting question, and that says that it's asked by Ayushi actually, and she has raised the question that what are the top implementation challenges you encountered with Genie?
It's a
Yeah.
good.
So uh, I'll start and then maybe you can take it there. So there are many challenges that come with Genie, and those challenges have a lot to do with the way Genie as a product has evolved. So initially, Genie was a very lightweight, I would say, a playground and a good assistant to like just to see how what your query is. And now we are seeing that Genie is full-fledged compatible to be embedded as your enterprise chatbot or to be embedded in your dashboard. So it has been a long journey since then, and the product has evolved. Uh, so there are many challenges that we have faced. I mean, when we try to implement Genie for a particular client, let's say, uh, we have to have separate Genie spaces, get because the problem is when client hears Genie or when anyone hears Genie, they think that everything is going to be solved in a very click of a button and in very automated way. And when we really sit with them and start implementing Genie, it's not that I mean it's straightforward, it's well documented, but it's not that straightforward that hey you don't need to do anything or just a single search bar to search in an enterprise data. It's getting there, but it's not there right now. If you have to like create a Genie space, as I said, right, you have to pull in the tables, develop your foreign key primary key relationship, add context to your data. You have to give Genie you have to do some homework for Genie, and then Genie can start from there. So generally, what we have seen is people start a POC with Genie, and they just start it in a very ad hoc and naive manner. And obviously that POC fails. And then they come to us that, hey, why did my POC fail? I did everything right, and Genie is supposed to be just a chatbot. So that's where it's mistaken. Genie is not an internet trained LLM. Genie uses LLM in the backend, but Genie is meant for our business data. So we need to design the Genie spaces correctly. And so you are saying that what should a data analyst do? If a data analyst starts using Genie in the right manner, that's a very, I would say, uh, an important usage of Genie, an important way Genie spaces can be designed and managed and leveraged. So that's one challenge that we have seen a lot that people start using Genie in a very ad hoc manner and then they get stuck. So now a lot of things have been formalized. The documentation is very clear. Things have evolved. So now those challenges have somewhat resolved. There you want to add anything?
I will add compliance to that. Uh, One of the things that I've seen bigger challenge is organizations actually going through the review board and approving Databricks or any other cloud platforms AI tools. Bigger organizations will be slow to that. So if you want AIBI and Genie and other Databricks LLM features in your organization, it's always good to go to your boss, talk to them, saying, "Hey, what are the compliance governance considerations we need to consider or we need to keep in mind to start these features?" It shows you will be actually you're thinking about the bigger picture, and sometimes all of these processes can take a lot of time. So you're ahead of it. You already do your homework. Say you know the privacy policies and data policies about Databricks and Genie Space and everything. You can help accelerate that implementation in your organization. And I think that also answers Bowai's question about like real enterprise deployments, biggest organizational challenges. That's sometimes some organizations are so big that it's a big ship. It's hard to steer. You can't just turn left when you think you want to turn left. So it takes a lot of gears to actually start some change, get the ball rolling.
Okay, we'll take one more question as well, and that says that for someone coming from a traditional data warehouse, what Databricks concept should they prioritize first to be the most effective?
Start with
Yeah.
data engineering
Yeah.
and Unity catalogs. First layer of any data sandwich, you're getting data. Data engineering, data science, data analyst, data governance. It's all data. You don't have anything other than data. So start with how to get the data in, start with Unity catalog, understand all of that. If you're already in warehousing, should be very easy. Databricks at the beginning started as a data engineering tool. So it's the most powerful at that.
Guys, you guys can also unmute yourself and ask the questions if you want. You have the ability to unmute yourself and ask the questions. I saw someone was raising hand. I guess Rishabh Mishra. I again repeat, like you guys, attendees can unmute themselves and ask the questions if they want. And you guys also can turn on your camera.
Yeah.
As well. Ask the
Unmute
question.
yourself, turn on your camera, say hi to us.
Looks like the order
Okay,
is there.
I guess we are almost on like about the time. Thank you all for joining this session, and thank you for all asking all the great questions. Thank you, Vibhor. Thank you, Daria, for giving us showing us a very good session on AIBI Genie. Um, Thanks Origin, thanks Databricks, and I have also put in like the Databricks user group page and community page screenshots, like QR codes as well in the chats. You guys can follow us on that, and it's a very good upcoming user group event we are planning on next year, which is our fourth Databricks user group in person meetup, and we have already decided the date, which is 21st Feb 2026. Location we will update you on our LinkedIn page.
Excuse me,
And if
Vaibhav.
you Rishabh, hi
So
Rishabh.
am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I was facing network issues. I had a question. Can you
Yeah,
address
please go
that?
ahead.
So my question was, Vaibhav, I wanted to understand how can we replace our current LLM model with Databricks technology? Like, could you please recommend and share the approach and key considerations?
Could you please
What kind of
yeah.
LLM model are you? This is a very broad question. So, what is that you are doing with your LLM?
Like currently we are using Llama model. I was talking about
Four.
that, like in that context.
Four. What are you
So
using the
Like-
Llama
what
model
are your
for?
use case?
Like
Yeah.
I'm using it for document processing.
Okay, yeah. Then in that case, you have a bunch of
This. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. In that case, you have a couple different repositories that you can do, but what you are looking for is a document intelligence workflow.
And yeah, and Databricks also provide Mosaic AI, and you can also read your whole the unstructured data with PDF and
Mhm.
documents. You can directly read the data and put it into a JSON format and tabular format after that, and you can use that very easily.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Anybody else wants to share any questions, share your thoughts? Feel free. And if you do like to participate and speak at this meetup, which we are conducting on next year, February 21st in 2026, you guys can email us on these email IDs, and you can also call on these following numbers, and we'll connect.
Great. Thank you all. I think.
Thank you all. Thanks
yes.
everyone.
Vaibhav,
Guys,
hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Just want to request everyone who can actually come on camera to be on camera so that usually with all of these Databricks events, we like to take a selfie when we are in person. And since we are not in person, let's everyone come on camera and take a virtual photo together just for our keepsake.
Attendees, if you feel
You should have,
comfortable coming on the camera, please do.
you should have said that in that invite or maybe earlier communication, because people may not be camera ready. You are presenters, you are ready, At least we can take this, capture this moment.
Yeah, we can do that.
Baba, just look. Yeah, just a
Is it done?
second.
Yeah.
No, just a second. Something happened.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's done. Oh,
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile.
Hey,
Done. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you for your time.
thanks
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you,
thanks all.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.